What is up, everybody? This is the Four Awards podcast. I am haberdashing here to talk to you this week with my lovely co-host, Michael Asderishin.
What up, guys?
And that's it.
That's it. That's just us.
Doom's out this week with the baby. So go out and congratulate him on Twitter.
Please.
Froz, on the other hand, let us know later, earlier today, that he wasn't going to be on. He was watching the streams from Worlds today, and just after the Pain game, CLG versus Pain, he called us and said, I'm not going to be on the podcast tonight. That game was so bad, I feel physically ill.
Yeah. That Riven pick.
I should not be surprised at CLG, but I still am upset.
I mean, I don't really care because it's CLG, but...
But I mean, like, this is the best chance they've ever had, and they still screw the pooch in the easiest group.
That's true.
That is true. Hope everyone else out there is enjoying Worlds so far. Hopefully it'll get better for NA and EU.
Go Origin. Yeah.
So, a little bit of news here before we dive into things. You can check out our new website at trinityforcenetwork.com. There you'll see all of our different podcasts out on the main page. The Proper, LCS Rundown, Ozlol, Hearth of the Cards, and It's a Long Story, the new RPG podcast that we're doing right now. So if you're looking for our older stuff, that'll still be over on the old sites as well as like iTunes and stuff. We're trying to make it transition right now. So if you did Battle Arena or Bronze Boot Camp, that sign up on the old site is no longer working. You want to now go to trinityforcepodcast.com/BA sign up / that's just kind of a temporary thing until that gets moved onto the new site. So other news here, Patreon still keep supporting us here.
Please.
Real please. Pretty please.
Please.
For all you guys that went down to all mid, thanks. That was apparently really awesome. I wasn't there, but everyone keeps talking about it. Yeah.
I would have liked to go. That would have been cool.
Yeah, but I'm here in the Midwest, and that's just too far. Where was it? Wait, it was in Ohio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, it wouldn't have been that
excuse. Bad. You could have gone.
The one time I can't use the Midwest as an excuse. Oh, man.
Anything Trinity Force related, to be honest.
Yeah. True. Well, like, Iowa Midwest is still a good 7 or 8 hours away from...
But screw Iowa. Ohio. Like, that's ridiculous. No one wants to go to Iowa anyway.
Except for, you know what Iowa's pretty close to? The new Chicago servers.
Well, it already had good internet, because...
Yeah.
Sweet is like a... whatever. Side tangent. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, let's move on to sections and the actual show here. So, let's start out with a trinket tip here. Did you know that you can change your name in League of Legends for, what is it, only 1350
1350 RP 63. It's the same cost as the 6300.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cheap right now. So if you started with a name, don't like it, you can change it. But if you're looking for a specific name and are wondering if it's taken or when it might be available, just so everyone knows, summoner names will become open for other people to pick based on your own summoner level. So it's a base 6 months that all summoner names are protected, plus an additional month for every summoner level past level 6. So once you're level 30, you have a maximum of 30 months on your account that no one else can take that name from your last played game. But after that, anyone can start taking your name. And there is a site that you can go to lolnamecheck.j2.io, where you can see all the names that are coming up for to be taken, I guess. So just looking at some of the ones coming up here, and if you're looking for a new name,
I can't believe you looked this up. Like,
how could I not?
I that was not the first thought I had.
I didn't look at, like, I didn't like type these names in, but like there was a list saying, hey, these names are coming up. Just to let everyone know.
Okay. I thought you checked.
No. I didn't like manually type all these names in.
Okay.
No. So names like crack cocaine, Domo, Azula, Fist, Papa John, the Butt Bandit, Avocadon't, John C9, Tits McGee, and 3141592635897.
So you can understand my confusion, right? Like, I thought you looked these up. I was like, why these?
No, there's like a list if you want like ideas. I don't know, John C9. I'm not gonna change mine, but if I had to, I'd pick that one.
Have you ever changed yours?
Yeah, I used to be the tall guy. Back when that used to be my default go-to, because I don't know, I wasn't very original, and that's the one thing I knew about myself. So that's what I picked. But after enough champion selects for people like going like, oh, well, how tall are you? I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Like I'm 6'4", and then you get that one asshole. That's not that tall. Like, that's all I got.
I mean, that's still pretty tall, but...
Did you ever have another summoner name?
No, never.
No. All right.
It's always been Asterishan.
Okay. So if anyone else is wondering out there where you can go to check to see if a name is available or when it will be available, you can go check their lolnamecheck.j2.io. Okay, so now we're going to get into a little bit of item discussion. So what the hell is that item, Ardent Sensor?
Oh, shit, that's a newer item. Well, relatively new.
Kind of.
I mean, considering. Yeah. The hell is that thing?
Let's see. It was actually added back in 410. So it's been here for a little while. It did receive some changes in...
I mean, it's new for me. I'm sorry. It's all relative, right?
It was
new to me.
It was back in 510 that you have the regular recipe that it is now. So Ardent Sensor, this is basically a support item that will give you 100% base mana regen, 40 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, 8% movement speed, and a unique passive that your heals and shields on allied champion grant them 15% attack speed and flat 30 on hit and magic damage for 6 seconds.
That is so good. That 30 bonus damage.
It's really like when they first changed, it used to be just it gives anyone that you heal or shield 25 attack speed. And now they changed it, so it's really better for everyone except the AD carry.
Yeah.
As a result. But I mean, like, everyone, you can get a lot more out of 30 flattened magic damage.
ADCs can still benefit from it. Like, not as much as they could before, but they still do benefit from it. And,
no, definitely.
Like, I like this item because it's not a ADC support item. It's a team support item. And I mean, I'm always open for that. Like, we have a bunch of items that are more geared towards, protecting your ADC. So it's nice to have an item that's super well-rounded for the team.
It really is a good item that you really don't see picked up on a lot of people. Like, Sirach is the only one where it comes to mind where, like, that's almost always built on her.
Sona, it's built on her a lot.
Yeah, Sona is another good example. But, like, people like Alistar, people don't build this on him that much, even though this really works really good for him. The extra movement speed and cooldown reduction.
Yeah.
And, like, not to say you don't need other stats on Alistar, but when you have your ultimate already, you're lowering the efficiency of a lot of the other tanky stats. So this offers a lot more offensive capabilities in your kit for your team.
Definitely. And I mean, it gives great stats too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking a lot at the passive, but the stats are super nice too.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, like, it's really that 10% cooldown reduction and the movement speed are the big selling points, I think. Like, the 40 ability power, it's fine if you're like a support Lulu and
yeah.
Janna and all those other people.
But I mean, even that helps with heals.
Yeah.
Like they're always good.
Definitely. So the thing to remember about this, it doesn't work with like self-healing regen things, like Heimerdinger's passive, Banner of Command, the passives from Locket of the Iron Solari, although it does trigger off the active from Locket of the Iron Solari.
Yes. Which I think is pretty cool. But I mean, it makes sense, right?
I mean, it's giant shield. So the thing about this I like is that it really allows you to like what sorry, like we said before, it's a good benefit for the whole team.
But I mean, it's obviously niche, like you obviously
Yeah.
have to be on a champion that can benefit from the passive. You can't be, just playing any support. Like,
Yeah.
clearly
There
this
are-
is a item in a specific situation.
And definitely some people it works on better than others. Like AoE heals or shields work a lot better than just targeted ones.
Definitely.
But it's a good alternative, I think, to Zeke's Harbinger, that newer item.
Yeah.
It's not a better alternative, but definitely an alternative. It front loads that damage and spreads it out along the team when you have more than just one carry.
Yeah.
Like-
Or a lot of potential in other places. Maybe not necessarily a carry, but like
Yeah.
if the Riven gets a good catch and she can benefit from this, then super great. Not necessarily the carry, but the potential.
Yeah. Whereas the Zeke's Harbinger is really just focusing on
exactly.
one other person and buffing them a crazy
Yeah.
amount.
Exactly what I was that was exactly what I was talking about with the whole, like, this is a great team item rather than focused on an ADC. But yeah, I agree. I like this item. Again, super specific scenarios on, champions that can, really benefit from it. Not just kind of benefit from it, because there are champions like Nami who like have a heal, but it's really not that great on them even with the heal. So, you got to be specific with who you're building this on, and the scenario definitely needs to be, predetermined too. Like, you need to be looking at this item in advance, being like, okay, we're going to get this, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm roaming and trying to team fight as much as I can, because you want to utilize this item, right? So
Yeah. And the movement speed on there does help a lot too.
so
There really aren't like a ton of items that give movement speed too.
yeah, and for support, like, that is super nice.
Oh yeah.
Really
Definitely.
great.
So let's move on here to talking about our main topic, season goals. I know this was kind of covered if you listen to the proper back in 292. They talked a little bit about this, but we want to really hit home with some of the points and focus on some other things for anyone else who is getting in their last few weeks here before the season ends, trying to rank up a little bit or something. So first off, I just want to give a thanks to anyone who's sent emails or tweeted us sharing your goals that you made this season. We've gotten plenty of people write in, saying, I just hit silver, I just hit gold, and it's always great to see people share their goals with us. I love seeing them.
And success stories. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Hearing people
Oh,
get
yeah.
to gold, that is so happy. Like, makes me really happy for people, because I know
And
that's a good feeling. So
Yeah, and not only just like ranks, but also we've gotten plenty of people that have written in about other goals they have, especially when it comes to attitude in the game. So yeah, I know, like, when we first started the show, we started with our own personal goals for the season. What was yours? Was to get to diamond, wasn't it?
God, what a disappointment. I mean, I'm gonna get to plat. Like, I am gonna get to plat, but I don't think I'm gonna get to diamond. I had too much happened in the last 3 months for me to be able to focus on that when I needed to. So, but I'm still hoping to get to plat. That diamond's not gonna happen. Still a potential for ranked. A couple of buddies of mine are gonna play threes And while that's not fives, it is still a ranked team. So
Just make a team with Chain Gang and those guys again.
nah, yeah.
Hey, just get Challenger. Who cares, right?
Maybe.
I think I didn't. I remember I didn't have a ranked goal because I think I've ended up playing a total of 11 ranked games this.
Dang, dude.
This, I mean, like it's never really been something I've been totally interested in. But my goal was to get better at CSing. And when I was playing, I learned a lot about wave manipulation and control, and that really did help to keep my CS numbers up in the mid game. I've taken a bit of a hiatus, but I'm coming back. I just started. I had to re-download the game because I didn't take it off, but like something got screwed up on a file and it wouldn't open. So right when I was about ready to play, I mean, but.
Yeah.
No, I definitely learned a lot this season about learning to CS better, and now that my ping is lower, I notice a difference. Seriously,
I've gotten used to the ping, but it's still I still miss on average, I would say, a CS and maybe a CS per minute and at least 2 kills because of it. Per game, I shit you not.
Wait,
at
what?
least 2 game. At
2
least
kills?
2 kills. At least 2 kills.
okay.
From the delay being like, I'm still not used to. I'm still not used to it in those like really clutch moments because before I had the precision down to like.
I can see how people on the West
pinpoint-
Coast are now just salty.
Well, like I had it down.
Not so much anymore, but
I had
when
it down to
happened.
pinpoint preciseness. Like
Yeah.
I knew exactly when I needed to click to stop the auto and immediately move back. But now those last shots under turret and stuff like that, like I don't get them. Like I think I get 1 out of 3.
That's I don't know. That's too bad.
Yeah.
It's something you'll have to definitely adjust to.
Yes, totally.
Uh,
But the CSing I've gotten used to. That's not that bad anymore.
Yeah, but gosh, it was so great. Like back on, I totally forgot. Because back when I didn't play regularly since mid-June, so like I went from 70 to 90-ish ping down to like.
Listeners,
10.
you're hearing 2 opposite sides of the spectrum right now too. You're hearing like total like this fucked me, and this is like oh my god
whatever.
gloriousness
I
right
don't
here.
even. Yeah. But anyways, let's get back to talking about goals
yeah.
here. So this happens every season. People set out for goals. Oh, I gotta get to gold. I gotta get that season reward or whatever. And some people do make it. They buckle down for those last few weeks and they do make it, but a lot of the other people, it gets to crunch time and they're just not able to, for whatever reason, make it to there. So, we want to talk about some of that stuff here tonight because we've all been there multiple seasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely been there. So.
So, I mean, the first thing I kind of wanted to say is that at the end of the day, you have to remember that it's just a game. Like, I understand people invest a lot of time and energy into this game, but I mean, at the end, it's really not all that important.
Yeah, it is easy to lose sight of the fact that, we're here to have fun. And like, while you are striving to get these accomplishments, like you shouldn't let that ambition get in the way of you enjoying yourself,
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
So-
like, I know people that have just, abandoned everything else for like that whole week before the season ends,
Yeah.
which, by the way, November 11th, mark
November
your calendar.
11th.
Hopefully, unless there's server crash or something and that gets pushed back. But yeah.
67 million people trying to log in.
Oh, God. LOL servers just like completely flood that last week, the last 24 hours before it closes. But they'll like board up their doors and windows for that last
I've done
week
it.
and do nothing but play.
I've done it. I've been on that horse. I know
Yeah.
that boat.
And I mean, now is not the time to be sacrificing a lot of what you've been working on, especially when it comes to play practices. Um, like cramming like an exam, it doesn't always help.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tricky subject because it can go one. It can. I like honestly, and this is gonna
Like,
sound.
what if I got that like last
Yeah.
game? And
This is really gonna sound silly because obviously, but it can go one of two ways. Like there are times where doing the crunch really can help, and then there are other times where like doing the crunch will only hinder you.
right. And
So,
I think like if you're used to like playing a game, then sitting down for the next 5-10 minutes analyzing what went wrong and playing like 2 to 3 games per day,
Yeah.
and that's what you've established, then just suddenly going and playing like 8 to 9 games a day, that's definitely going to throw you off a lot.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this is why we're going to talk about this because we can definitely help, mitigate that stress and if you really want to work towards these goals and put in the time, we can definitely help in that aspect. But, you may also the, lesser end of this may need to realize that these ambitions might be just a bit too much and you might be
Right.
spreading yourself too thin.
I mean, it's October 8th when we're recording this, so you have basically a month left.
Yeah.
Until we're locked in. So, I mean, like going from, I don't know, let's say bronze 4 to silver 5, that's doable,
Yeah,
definitely.
totally.
But I mean, if you're bronze 4 and looking to go to gold, I mean, you may want to dial it back down a little bit.
And
We're setting realistic goals here
Yes,
for a month
exactly.
left.
We're touching on the realisticness of this because even you getting to silver is a benefit because next season you're going to have that advantage because
Yeah.
when the soft reset
Soft
comes,
reset, yeah.
you're going to get only set back a little bit. Actually, you might even gain a lot more than
Yeah,
you would if
and
you're in bronze. So
Remember, you can always up your MR during the off season too.
true. So,
But,
I mean, you have
yeah.
that time too. So set realistic goals. That's, first and foremost, make sure that you guys are setting realistic goals for yourselves in this next coming month.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, definitely set realistic goals. I remember when I what must have been season 3, where I did the exact same thing, only I cared a little bit more about ranked. So I played 10 games, got bronze 1, and then I waited till the last one. I'm like, oh, I gotta get to silver at least. So that was realistic, but I initially wanted, once I got those first 10 games done, to at least get to gold, and I just procrastinated every season. That's happened every season.
Yeah, and there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of learning that goes from going from bronze to gold too. Like that is there's a journey there. So I mean, you got to be realistic about it because that's not just that for some people that is a month-long process, but for a lot of other people that's a 3-month learning process to get there.
Yeah, and I know not everyone's goals, especially the ones that we had you guys send in at the beginning of the season, weren't rank related. But I mean, even if they're not, they will help you if you are starting to get into rank now. So I really do keep those in mind when you're trying to take these last few weeks here to try to rank up. It really does come from a lot of just the base mechanics that you started working at. Like we talk about all the time, farm can propel you clear into gold if you're good enough at it.
Yep, totally true, 100% true.
Same thing goes with good map awareness and all those things. That's the thing where I'm getting at with
Remembering our
playing the crap out of stuff too, and just getting so focused in of I've got to get to gold, or whatever your ranked goal is. You still have to remember all those little things that you've done every other game before then too.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of sloppy play can come in.
Oh, totally true. Yeah. I think, and a lot of this, before I kind of, because I like this, but a lot of a lot of the issues that come from, what happens in game are usually issues that you can deal with outside of the game. Usually there's something like, if you're doing these long crunches of games, like 8 to 9 games, which, I don't disencourage you to do. Those can actually be really beneficial, but, make sure you're taking time to get up, get some water, use the bathroom, get some fresh air. There's specific habits that can definitely help you when it comes time to...
I still think it is important to at least spend like 5 minutes between your games, just to at least get up, get around, take a minute to think about that last game and some things that went right and some things that didn't go so well. And
because like you got to look at it from the perspective of, okay, if I'm going from one game straight into another, what happened in that game? What could have gone on in that game that could affect my next game? Like, and is the 5 minutes in Champ Select, where I'm dealing with new players, going to allow me that time to get my breather, recenter myself? Because at the end of the day, when you're playing League, you have to make sure that you're focused and you're centered. If you're not level-headed, then you shouldn't be playing ranked.
And that gets back into like your attitude in this last month, because for those who have never played ranked during the season, this is the part where everyone's getting back on,
and everybody is antsy really, and nervous and on edge,
a little bit more heated, tense, in ranked.
Everybody wants to win because this is when it matters. Like these are the end of days, so to speak.
So not only remember playing with a level head yourself, but also be
cognitive of the other people around you who are just as stressed out about this game as you are.
Right. You can be that positive influence and, hey man, I know that we've only got a month left. Let's just bring it down here a notch. Everyone else is trying to get to that next rank too. But, like Froz always loves to say, and I do agree, just mute people.
Yeah.
Play this if ever there was a time to just type mute all at the start of a game, it's now.
It really is.
Because it's just a circumstantial thing. It happens at the beginning of every season, at the end of every season.
If you're prone to that sort of thing, like if you're not, then you don't.
No, not on an individual level, but definitely as the community as a whole. So be mindful of that and put your best foot forward.
Yeah. Yep. That's so sad. It makes me sad that's the best hope we have is just mute all and hope no one rages.
It's like Black Friday. Those people that go out shopping Black Friday. You see some people get like, I don't know, like they lose all sense of reality and just become total animals when it comes to getting a $5 toaster.
It's super funny too, because like Black Friday is kind of a scam,
right? And when you when you sit back and look at it, it can be hilarious. But to those people, that is all that matters. Just like in this last month, all that matters to some people in ranked is getting to that next level. Yeah.
True. Too true.
So, for those of you guys looking for extra tips, how to rank up here really quick in these last few weeks, remember, like we said, don't abandon the stuff that you've been working well on this whole season, just in the home stretch.
Retain your fundamentals, people. They're the basis of your game.
Duck, dive,
dodge, duck, and roll.
Damn it, I screwed that up.
I think I had it wrong too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's definitely not a roll in there.
There's a roll. There's a roll.
No, it's the 5 Ds of dodgeball.
I thought there was a roll.
Tell me, no.
Oh.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, fundamentals are important. If you can just really hone in instead of concentrating on the next rank, concentrate really hard on that one fundamental that you want to work on, whether it's map awareness, whether it's warding, whether it's last hitting.
Yeah, if I was gonna say if I had to choose one, I would say last hitting.
I would say last hitting too. Yeah.
I mean,
But-
unless you're a support, in which case,
Don't. No.
Don't.
Bad. Bad support.
focus on warding. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, let's think of some other things to say here for mechanics.
So, drink water. This is another good thing that you can do to
Good
make sure
mechanic.
that you're no, and but this is for your mechanics. This
Right,
is
yeah.
this is to maintain your mechanics. Staying hydrated. There you go. Staying hydrated
Taking care of the body. Yeah.
is it's one of the perfect ways to make sure that you're not shaky and you're not too on edge.
Mm-hmm.
That affects your mechanics because then
True.
you're not
Yeah, taking
missing
care of
stuff.
yourself is really important. And that goes along with everything else: drinking water, eating right, yada 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 yada.
I can't play without a bottle of water at my side.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love water now.
Yeah.
I started I never used to drink water before a couple of years ago, and now I go through 2 or 3 of these a day. Super. I feel a ton better when I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
I think if you work on advancing in increments within your game, you're going to see improvements. And what I mean by that is not only planning for the next objective, but kind of like we talked about last week with incremental warding. It's just taking the next easiest to obtain objective. And you just do that over and over and over until you won the game.
It's
right?
the
So
little victories,
yeah. So you're able to force someone back, then you're able to get damage on their tower and back and come back with an advantage, and then you're able to get your jungler down, get a kill, get that tower, or then you're able to get the dragon, then you're able to rotate it to mid, and then yada yada yada.
OGN rotations.
Oh man. Right?
Yeah. No, I agree completely. Yeah. And make sure you're focusing on those sorts of things too. Like that's another good thing to be mindful of. Even if there's not, especially if there's not a person on your team that's making those calls, is stepping up and doing that, being like, hey, we could potentially look at dragon. Their bot lane just had to back, so being communicative, talking, for those that can do it in a fashion that's beneficial.
Yeah. As far as champion selection goes, if you're looking to pick up new champions, now isn't really a great time. So we've seen this in a lot of statistics. If you have a main champion that you're comfortable playing, you played over 100 games on that champion, no matter what, your win rate will almost always be higher than that flavor champion. No matter how high their win rate is.
And you have to play the statistics at the same time. If you have a 57% win rate on a champion and you're looking at a champion that you're not super familiar with, why would you go on a champion?
Take a look at your op.gg, your Law King, or whatever you use to get information about yourself and your ranked activities. Take a look at what you've been playing, what's been working well for you, focus on those.
This is one of those moments where I'm always I tell people to be confident in themselves, because especially if you have a win rate that is not something to scoff at. If you're clearly decent at a champion
for you,
yeah. If you're clearly decent at a champion or a role, you should take pride in the fact that you're skilled at that and try and do it as often as you can. And don't brag about it and don't be like, well, I'm super good in this role, this is what's going to happen. But don't shy from the opportunity to be that person, to step up and be like, okay, if someone's not picking, usually I fill, you know what? This time I'm not going to fill, I'm going to pick the role that I know I'm really good at.
Right. Yeah. Play with the numbers if there is statistically significant advantage that you have. And I'm not saying I should definitely play Sona because I have a 75% win rate on her, although I've only played 4 games.
Yeah.
it's really is like the champions that you played 30, 60, 100 times that you can see, like, if their win rate is above 50%, start playing those champions.
Definitely do. And, you know, it never hurts to play them in another role either, especially if they're a versatile champion too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Champion mastery comes with that, being able to play elsewhere.
We've talked about it a little bit, but I want to just touch real quick on duo queuing.
Yes. Please,
I'll let you.
let's.
Go ahead.
I think it's I mean, I can understand how some people are turned off on the idea of duo queuing, and there are some, like, technically systematic disadvantages that you are placed in because you are duo queuing. But I don't think they outweigh the innate benefit that you have with somebody on your team that you can completely trust. And I say completely trust. You should not be duo queuing with somebody that you don't completely trust, because you're about to play with people that you don't trust at all, right? You don't want to toss in a random factor, a friend that you could potentially, you know, either get angry at or, you know, lose with, and then only experience bad things. Duo with someone that you trust. Duo with someone that you really want to duo with.
Don't be that guy that holds it against your friend that you didn't get the gold.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, it's petty and dumb. And this is like that trust, like being able to trust somebody like that, like, holy crap. It's 1me games like that. I play Callista in solo queue. People call me crazy for doing it, but I know that when I'm duo queuing with my support, with the nerfs recently, like, everybody's like, I can't believe you're still playing Callista.
I can just imagine that in Champion Select, you lock in Callista, someone types in, "Man, you crazy."
Man, you crazy. Nah, but it's funny. Like, I mean, I get a comment at least once a game. Someone's like, really, Callista, LCS, or something like that. Or something like, oh, great, another Callista player.
But, I mean, that is like, hey, I know this champion really well. Just let me play
but there's trust in my duo queue partner.
Yeah.
Like, I will not play Callista with somebody that I don't trust like that. Like, I'll play someone... if I don't trust them in that role, which I'm still saying, if you trust them in a role, play with them. I'm not saying that I trust this person less or anything like that. But he just plays a different role, so I play a different champion. I don't play Callista.
Yeah, I agree. Like, when dual queue works well, it really does work well. I mean,
yeah, it works amazingly well
because you have that extra added communication and quicker response times, and it's a lot easier to make decisions as a team when you have that other person that goes along with you.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Asderition. Don't just duo queue with someone because they're a little bit higher MMR than you, and you'll think they'll carry you to the next rank, because Riot knows what you're thinking.
Yes.
And they're like, no, we got you, buddy. We're gonna adjust the rankings so they're still equal on the teams. And like,
And you know, I don't necessarily see that as a disadvantage to me specifically, just because, I mean, like,
You're
if
awesome,
anything,
right?
yeah, well, I'm confident in my abilities to the point where if I'm playing against somebody that's just a little bit better than the people that I normally play against, I don't really see it as that big of a threat. I mean, one, I'm in gold, and two, that's just what I think. I don't see them as that much more of a threat.
Gold people can play at a diamond level, just like diamond people can play at a gold level.
Yeah, there's just a consistency in diamond people that gold people don't necessarily have.
True.
And that's another talk. My whole point is, play with somebody that you trust, and right there, like, that should scream a benefit. Like, you're playing a game where you can't trust anybody. It's a bunch of random people trying to win, and there's, like, no communication. Points don't mean anything, literally, but you then have that one other person that you can be like, okay, the points mean something to us, let's focus and let's try and win this game, rather than the points mean something to me, I'm the only one focusing trying to win, something like that.
No, definitely. Like, especially if you, like, decide now, you find that one person and you're able to, like, share the same goal and keep each other level headed. You have that other person to keep you in check. Or, like, knows when you're just starting to go on tilt and says, dude, let's just call it quits for today. You're definitely going on tilt. Yeah. Someone that can be honest with you too.
And somebody that can help you, you know, like, spot out issues in your game. You know, it's never fun to hear a comment on a play that you just failed from a rando. But if your buddy's like, you missed your flash right there, that's what screwed you. Like, yeah, you got this and this, and maybe you missed that, but if you hadn't missed the flash in the first place, you would have been fine. Like,
and you can like kind of make
but you
fun
can
of it too, and like
yeah,
tease them about it,
and you can
kind of
trust
like
your
what we do
teammate.
with Doom, and when he plays Rengar. And anytime I see someone just play shitty Rengar in the LCS, I'm like, oh, they let Doom play on their team today. God, just like, what was that? The first game with LDG, I'm like, holy shit, Doom's playing on LDG, LGD.
LGD.
Is it? Is that right, or is it LDG?
I don't remember. Now.
The loser China team now. But,
anyway,
yeah, I mean that's just because he's like we're able to say like,
yes,
dude, you're overcommitting, but
yeah.
It's lighthearted.
Mm-hmm. And you're not going to get that same inspection from random people. One, you're just not going to take it the same way.
True.
Like,
I mean,
ever.
You can, but at the time, it's really hard to. I wouldn't fault anyone for not wanting to listen to a random person just saying.
Yeah,
hey,
me neither.
Dude,
but
no.
there's still some value in being pointed out your mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Like it's never fun to hear them because it's your mistake, but taking responsibility and recognizing that the mistake was made and trying to fix it is, first step to fixing the problem.
Yep. Any other points you wanted to make about like duo queue?
Not really. No. I highly suggest it. I think everybody should do it. I see no reason in not doing it.
Smoke
really
them. Smoke them if you got them.
Mm-hmm.
So just a reminder to anyone that this can be a really stressful time. It's important to have a way to deal or cope with that stress. Whatever your own personal remedies for that may be.
Water is for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, if you have a bad game, or any game in general, I make it a habit of, taking that 5 minutes afterwards and just kind of regrouping.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, like, even playing with another person can help that. And you just got to know when to walk away.
Oh,
like,
totally. Like, you don't want to end on a loss, and I get that. Trust me, I've been playing this game for forever. I understand.
Right.
You don't want to end on a loss, and, that makes sense. But if you're 3 losses deep and things are only looking shallower and worse, then there's like, at that point, there's no point, You gotta
especially now, you're just digging yourself into a hole and you don't have a whole lot of time to dig yourself out of it.
What you do in that situation is you learn from it, you recognize what you did wrong, you make a habit of identifying, okay, so what happened after that first game? Did that first game affect my second game? Did that second game affect my third game? Did this 2 streaks in a row cause me to lose my third game? And if you can identify that, okay, yeah, maybe those 2 losses made me lose my third one because I was tilted, then you can cut that third one short, be like, okay, I'm 2 losses deep, I'm going to stop now. You just saved yourself 22 LP for the rest of your life because you learned from that situation.
Personally, if I lose
I stop
3 games, see, I'll go for the third one, but after that, I definitely say, you know what, that's enough for the day. But I mean, it doesn't mean you've lost the rest of that day to get better.
Oh no, totally.
Law, like
Yeah. I just stop
definitely
ranked.
suggest, yeah,
Yeah.
or I mean, like go play something else, or watch those replays from today, compare them to some of your better games. There's a whole lot of exercises that we've talked about on the show before that you can do outside of LoL, or I mean, just do something else for a while, get your mind off of it.
Yeah. Get up from the screen, like that also really helps, retuning your eyes, getting out, just getting your eyes some sunlight really helps too, gets you some exposure. Like a lot of people are like, it makes me blind. But come on, guys, like we live indoors, but we don't permanently do.
I've had those times where I sit down, I get up, like, what the When did it get dark outside?
Yeah. Oh shit! I've been here for 5 hours and I haven't moved. I should probably get up.
Man.
Like it's a good time to get up out of your seat. Yeah, and we keep emphasizing that, and a lot of people may be like, "Well, you should really fucking stop it because you're just beating it into the ground." But how many of you guys actually get up from your games? Like, I'm really curious because a lot of times people say that's your best
It's so
advice,
easy
but
to just still hit that play again
you don't
button.
fucking do it. None of
Yeah.
you do it. They get on Reddit, check email, Facebook, turn on Pandora, and go play another game 5 minutes later. They don't get up, grab a water, and take a leak. Like, they just do something else on the computer.
Yeah. No, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. There's a
But
mini
no,
side
no,
rant
it's
because I watched 2 of my friends do it.
It's definitely a habit that you need to make for yourself by doing. So what happens come November 12th? Things didn't necessarily go your way. You didn't get to that rank that you wanted to. How do you go forward from there?
Well, first off, you got to tell yourself that it's okay, and that just kind of happens. There could be a lot of reasons why you didn't get to your goal, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The reason could be that you just weren't good enough and you couldn't shake it out, and maybe that is the reason. But recognizing that is what happened and not moping and blaming the game or something like that, that is the path to getting better, and that's the path to success in the future, because we can only look forward. It doesn't make sense to get all uppity and sad that you didn't get your goals met. Like, you should get sad, that's fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
But you gotta take it for what it is and move forward.
Right. One of my favorite times is that preseason time. That November 12th to January, mid-January, or early
January.
February. Is that
Jan Michael Vincent. I need a goddamn Jan Michael Vincent.
Could you God, you went from just Lux to just Rick and Morty, and I don't know which is worse.
Did you watch the new episode?
Which one?
I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was
very
sad.
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't know. We'll talk about it after the show.
All right.
But really learn to look forward to that time. Look forward to next season. What you can do that you didn't do this season. Because you didn't make your goal. It's not like you're held back a grade or something now or whatever. You don't get the end of season rewards, and that's it.
It's fucking Sivir. Who cares anyway? Like,
yeah,
it's not like it's a lease. Like, come on, you can't be that sad about Sivir.
Victorious Sivir. No,
if it was Victorious Callista, you could be sad about that. But
you already got the championship skin for that too.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they got
Insta bought that.
I still haven't got it, but I need to.
Oh man.
Anyway.
I love all those skins, but yeah, it's not a big deal really. Like, I keep saying that, but I know there's some people out there like it is a bit. I understand it can be a big deal to you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make that sound like I don't care or I don't understand. Well, I do.
It's a big deal to me. Like, I was a little personal thing, but I kind of sort of lost a girlfriend over League of Legends in my aim to get to ranked. So I definitely know it was a big deal to me as well. So I get that. Like, I understand that feeling, but. Like, having been playing this game for as long as I have, you come to that recognition of just being like, there's next season, like, I can just take this time to improve. I'm not screwed. I still have this time to increase my MMR and place myself in a decent position for the next season.
It's with any other defeat in life, whether you didn't get on the team you wanted, you got passed up for that promotion, you struck out at the bars or something.
Bars?
I don't know. What,
Come on,
whatever.
Who's picking up girls at bars? Oh my god, are we listening? Are we preaching to fucking, I don't know, 30-year-olds who don't have jobs or hate their lives? Sorry, I just got mega personal. My bad.
But it's learning to deal with that loss in a healthy way and learning to move forward with that. It's an important life skill to learn.
Yes, it is. It really is.
So we brought up some other stuff. Do you want to talk about gold efficiency, or should we just move right into questions?
I mean, I kind of do, but at the same time, like I do like these questions.
I
What
like
if
these
we, what if we do one question and gold efficiency?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I'll let you take gold efficiency here.
Okay, so we were looking at what else to talk about just in case we ran out of time. No lies, or we ran out of topic. But I put this in because I think it's a really good topic for beginners in this idea, or not beginners, but the beginnings of thinking about gold efficiency. Like this is the beginning steps to being more aware of the inner workings of the game. Not so much as like, oh, what does this champion do? And how does this combo work? But more precise, like the math of it all, the more intricacies of it.
Min-maxing.
Yes, absolutely. So this is more of the micro aspect of it. And if you're new to this idea, then, this is a good place to start. And for a lot of you, this may, this will just be, rhetorical and you'll understand it. But gold efficiency is basically this idea of maximizing your gold as efficiently as possible. And a lot of people will just be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like buy what you need, don't buy AP on an AD champion, but it's more to it than that. That's just it from like an iceberg level, but it goes down deeper. There's a lot to it. So, one of the best tips I have for people that are learning to min-max their gold is, when you're building an item, say Sheen, for example, this is the one I use most commonly because it's a great item. Sheen has two parts to it. It has a mana crystal and an amplifying tome to make Sheen. Now, both of those cost roughly around 400 gold, mana crystal being 400, 435 for amplifying tome. So they're relatively the same price. But what you choose to build in that moment is gold efficiency, like basics, like it matters because when you get to lane, this is what you have to work with. These are now upgraded resources. And with these resources are what your abilities and, what you do with it. So, for example, on a champion like Ezreal, a lot of people are like, oh man, I want more damage. But if you're playing, someone like AD Ezreal in the bot lane, and yeah, you're building Trinity Force first, but still maxing Q, it's not necessarily the best to build Amplifying Tome first. You'd rather have that mana crystal so you can lay down more Qs and help yourself with farm and help yourself with distance poke.
You get like 20 more damage on a few of your abilities versus being able to cast those abilities another couple times.
Quite a few more times too, because his Q is really not that expensive.
Yeah, it's 200 extra mana for the mana crystal. So, like, overall, it give you like one more full rotation of your abilities.
But on top of that, it also gives your mana regen more time to. It gives your mana regen more resources to regenerate as well. And like this is another concept people don't even think about. It's like, say you lose health. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing because now the stat health regen is actually working instead of doing nothing. So you're utilizing that health regen. Taking damage isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're just going to regen it and get it back in a few seconds anyway.
Right, I mean,
or,
like,
30 seconds.
Or going back
Same thing
to
with mana.
Mana, like, you have to still have that 40 mana, and when you have that larger pool, you have, instead of just having 40 mana left, you now have 240. So you're not constantly using that skill and then going to 0. You have more to work with even when you're on low mana now. But that's just a example of gold efficiency when it comes to like Sheen. If you were
this
to take
goes all over the place. Up in the top lane with Phage. I mean, like, are you trading more? You should be getting health. Or do you need some help with your CS? Then build that longsword.
And this is really learning the ins and outs of your champion as well as what's happening at any given point in the game.
And it matters too, because these little moments determine, what's going to happen in the next few seconds, because you're not backing every 30 seconds, like each back is a very special moment, and that moment will determine what happens for the next 5 or 6 minutes that you're in lane. Like, if you don't focus and pay attention to what you're doing and making sure that you're trying to utilize it as best as you can, I mean, right there, I just said it, you're not utilizing the resources the best you can.
Yeah. So let's go forward here with some other ways to save gold.
This one is my little tip. This is just my personal preference because I'm a more risky player, and I like the risky plays more than I appreciate the safe ones. But I say don't buy pots post 6 or 7. Depending on the champion, I may buy pots, and depending on what happens in the game, maybe I will buy pots. But I can say with like 90% accuracy that I don't buy pots after level 6.
You should definitely start decreasing your dependency on potions at that point.
They cost 35 gold, which is almost half of a ward. And they give you 150 health. And at level 6, on average, the champion has about 1,050 health, like the lowest being Sona. Most people are in like the 1200s. You know, you're sitting at a generous pool of mana, or pool of health. That mana. That 150 health is
even on Garen
is just not. It's better used in places like, leading to my next point, wards. Why spend Why spend money on pots when you can spend a little more gold on a ward and basically save the enemy from getting 300 gold, rather than save yourself an extra 20 seconds in lane, which in the end would cost you, which if you really want to like buckle down and do the math, you can do the math and you can figure it out. But that 300 gold, like 75 gold for a ward, saves you from getting
100
ganked.
gold for pink wards.
100 gold
right?
for a pink ward.
Can't forget those.
Yeah, saves you from getting ganked. You just walked away with 200 gold basically. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like,
sure.
if that you were gonna die, you would have given
gold,
you would have given them 300
Yeah.
gold.
300, maybe like
Even more.
if it's a gank, 450.
Which is less than what you had before. So you're actually gaining way more out of not dying than you are. Had you died, you would have lost a shit ton.
And that's just the gold component too. Yeah. I think it becomes really important to start learning the actual gold prices for items.
Totally true. Ooh, yeah,
and I mean, I'm not saying just straight up memorize the price of everything, because you won't, unless you just, I don't know, you can make flashcards if you wanted to, but like, you're sitting in lane, you waiting for the next wave.
You have this thing called item sets right in front of you that you can literally program.
You're waiting for the next wave or whatever. Take a look and say, okay, when I go back, I want to be able to buy a BF sword, or I want to be able to finish my Morellonomicon. How much gold do I need to make that happen? Because say you go back with an odd amount of gold, you're now sitting with an extra 600 gold that you're saving up. That 600 gold is now effectively useless.
You know what gold amount I hate backing with? As an 80 carry, the 900 mark. Fucking hate it. 900 just pisses me off.
I mean, you can pickaxe at least.
Yeah, but that's it. Maybe wait to get a pot, but that's literally it. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good point to back. Which, I mean, you really have to decide and start like playing. Actually, like, okay, I can stick around here for another 100 gold or 150 gold, but I need to play a little bit more careful, and that'll end up being more worth it, just so you're not stuck with that odd amount of gold after you go back.
I love that you're totally like in advocacy for that, because I totally am in advocacy for that. Like, I don't care that I'm chilling out a fourth of my health. I want this cannon minion wave.
But I mean, it's not like you're playing the same way. You're playing very cautiously.
No,
like,
totally.
I know I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. Holy fuck, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I've done that. I've totally done that. I've done that in games with you before.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. This is like, God, I'm at 1450 gold. Just let me get in 100 extra gold, please.
I know, right? Like, but those moments though can like really determine like whether or not you come out ahead for the next coming minutes though. Like, if you stay and get that BF sword in a couple pots over their pickaxe and boots, it could mean the difference between you winning out in trades and you taking the lead, rather than you backing and getting the same thing. But because they were safer, because they backed a little earlier, it's this idea of like the risk versus the worth, and if you can, or risk versus reward, and if you can, make the risk work in your favor, then it's really worth it.
I like the last point that you put in here, to utilize stats effectively, and you kind of hit on this a little bit when we talked about health regen and mana regen. It doesn't do anything when you're sitting at full health and full mana, because you're now wasting 2 or more stats. Not saying that you should just go in and lose half of your health for no
Well,
reason, but like in trades, if you can trade a little bit of poke and take an auto attack, that's fine.
It's
I
good.
now can either
Especially-
use that potion that I got, or I can use that Doran's blade, or
Or-
whatever lifesteal, or whatever other part you have.
What if you bought a ruby crystal and you're not trying to trade? Like, you're just being silly at that point. Like, why'd you buy the ruby crystal in the first place?
True. And same thing
So-
with mana. I mean, you got the
Oh,
extra
man.
mana and mana regen.
Open
so-
with a spell. Like, the first thing I do
Yeah.
when I get to lane is I throw a spell just to be like, hey, buddy, I want you to know that I'm in lane with you, and we're gonna dance, and I'm not afraid to use spells. And then I, also let my mana regen start to...
Right, because I mean, not to say like every time you're sitting at full mana, you should cast a spell, because you
No.
got to think about like the cooldowns and stuff too.
Totally.
But it's
But game
definitely
opener,
something
like,
to
why
think
wouldn't
about.
you?
Yeah.
Come on, like if you,
Right.
if your people are in their places, this is going to be a normal ass beginning of the game.
Yeah, even though like it wasn't exactly the part that you wanted to spend the money on for that item, it just came as an extra part for the health regen or mana regen. That's still extra stats that you're paying for, so use them.
Yes, absolutely use them.
Right. So let's move on to our question here. I want to take this first one here.
Okay, yeah.
We'll save the other one
Okay.
for another time. So
Although I do really like that other one too.
we got plenty of good questions to get through here. So question from Vincent Oron. He says, ever since I've started playing and watching some LCS, I've wondered what the strategy is for champion select in rank after pick and bans. Assuming there are no arguments over pick order versus lane call order, how do most people do draft pick? Example, top and support first pick, followed by mid, jungle, and finally AD carry.
Oh, this
This
guy's...
is-
I mean, he's super optimistic about how communicative like people are in Champ Select.
Well, let's start out just like give a brief overview of why Champion Select is different in professional games.
Okay, so first off, you're in an organized 5v5. Like, the number one goal, so much so that this, like, people's lives depend on it, is them winning this game. To you, it's just
Not
another
their
game in
actual
the day.
lives.
I mean, kind of. Like, their
Although
career.
that would be like
That'd be
the best
insane.
post-apocalyptic scenario.
League of Legends,
of
like, 1v1.
League of Legends after the Thunderdome.
Riot
the
takes
next
over
Mad Max
Riot,
movie.
Riot takes over the world and pits people against
What?
each other.
10 men enter, 5 men leave.
Anyway, but like these guys, like all they do is min-maxing to the point where like they're so focused on it even in Champ Select that everything is a mind game to them. It's not so strict in solo queue. I mean, and it can't be. Like you're putting 5 random people with crazy different personalities into one queue and being like, "Hey guys, communicate and figure this shit out." You know, everybody wants what they want. Some people don't want, some people want the same thing. And you're asking for a best case scenario where everybody gets the role that they want. Like, and even in that situation, more often than not, there's still a lack of communication. People aren't going, "Oh, I'm going to be going Garen top. We should be looking for, some heavy damage burst out of the mid lane or assassin or something like that so you can utilize my, my Black Cleaver," right? You're not going to get that. You're going to get, "I'm just going top. All right, I'm mid. I'm jungle.
Yep.
I'm support."
That's really all you can hope for.
Maybe
in a good one, yeah.
Maybe you get someone that's like, "Hey, I'm last pick. Do you mind grabbing Callista for me? She's flavor and I'd like to play her." Or, "Hey, Cho'Gath open and I play some
like probably
I play good Cho'Gath."
Mordekaiser is an example of someone who's actually flavor.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry,
But
it's just he's banned all the time, so I didn't say him. But like that's
It's just like now I'm imagining you going into champions like, "Hey, can you pick me up Callista? I know the other team's gonna instantly pick her," and they're just like,
not anymore.
"What the fuck?"
Not anymore.
But I mean, if you want like an insight into what's going through the pros' mind as they're picking, banning, all that stuff, there is a priority first in banning out really strong champions and whatever the enemy's good at playing. Then they have a comp in mind when they go into Champ Select, and they'll say, "Okay, what is the biggest priority that we need to get, and we need to keep the other team away from?" And that's kind of where they'll start their pick and bans from. So that's why sometimes you'll see their mid laner pick first versus pick last, or sometimes they'll pick their jungler first. It's all what makes that comp what the center of that comp is.
And who they're trying to deny on the enemy team. Like if
Definitely.
you're trying to keep, you're trying to keep somebody off of specific champion, like we don't want Bjergsen to get LeBlanc, early pick on LeBlanc is just, that's going to happen. You're going to see that happen. That's
It's really a lot of mind games too that we don't really have time to talk about all of it, but
there's no you want to know, like, the honest to God truth about it is that they just, they pick for the game, and they pick and ban and do champ select for the game against the matchup for that moment. There's no set strict rule as to what they do.
yeah,
That
when
is
it
the rule.
comes, so I mean, that's something you could think about if you're into doing ranked fives. But as far as just solo
Well,
queue goes,
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
not
even
not
in-
to that level, but like
Yeah.
even like okay, we want to play this specific comp.
We need to ban out this and this, which,
Yeah.
stop that comp.
And-
Like, we don't want Vi to get onto the Callista because we're playing
Yeah,
a
and
protect
like
comp.
save your last pick for a counter pick in mid or top or whatever you need, and that's some stuff you can start to utilize in ranked fives, or even like duo queue too. But as far as like playing on your own and wondering how to do champion select, it really is not I don't want to say like a free for all, but
It is, though.
there is a lot less thought and structure that goes into it. It's just
Yeah.
if you can get everyone to agree on a lane, you won.
That's like, like, that's the best. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like, a
When
lot
you
of
get
players.
into a game and everyone
Don't
calls a
get me wrong.
position and there's no overlap.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't get me
it's
wrong.
great.
Don't get me wrong. Like, there are give and takes in lots of games, and I'm okay with that. Like, there should be. I'm not going to play soccer and always get the position that I want, just like in League of Legends I'm always going to get the position that I want. That's just the way it is, and I understand that. But the few times where you're just like, everything went so smoothly, like, it's so rare. It's annoying, but it's so beautiful at the same time. Maybe that's why it's so beautiful, is because it's so rare.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like it's not like the 1% chance. It happens.
It happens, but I mean,
yeah.
that is not something that happens every day,
No.
or even every week for me. Like,
Yeah.
I've gone long stretches where everybody's just like mid ADC, mid ADC, mid ADC.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way it goes. So it's something that will definitely work into a better response over email if you want to know more about like picks in the LCS. But for everyone else, as far as like champ select goes, don't worry even about like counter picks. It's not important.
Champ select. The most important thing about champ select is maintaining a level head before game. Like
Yeah.
you want to get picks and bans out, but like there's a lot of heat that comes out in champ select that carries over to the game that can just completely catastrophize. Like, I don't even know the proper word for that.
Where's Doom right
I don't
now?
know, but like you can ruin a game.
Yeah,
Ruin a
before
game
it
if
even
you're not
starts.
Careful. Like, if anything, like Haber, is kind of ingrained here. It's a mind game scenario, and at times you are literally competing with your teammates to make sure that you keep level-headedness in your team.
So, yeah, just like Summoner Code states,
Yeah.
you put the team first. And if you're able to do that, you're keeping your team happy going into the game. And what's the stat? Like, players who follow the Summoner's Code on average win 22% more games or something like that.
I think it's 22. Yeah,
Maybe
it's 27. I think it's 27%.
It's somewhere between like 16, 27. A statistically significant number.
I mean,
So-
and like we said, play the numbers. Like, especially in these dark times of trial and
Don't fight if you want to get mid and someone else has already called it.
especially if they have pick order.
first.
God damn it. Okay, let's get something straight. For you
Go
people
ahead.
that are in ranked right now, pick order versus call order. Now,
Mm.
I used to be a call order person. I used to be that person. But like, the law is the law, and you can't fight that. You just can't. And if you try, you're only going to make conflict. Pick order
Yeah.
always goes over call order, no matter what. Even if you have the same pick, you two
But
are
I
picking.
called
Even
it.
if you two are picking in the same fucking pick, it doesn't matter. He's
Yeah,
above
it's
you.
still-
He's above you. So if
It's-
he called it, it's pick
It's-
order.
it's not like that's the absolute, like it used to be more of, hey, that person that's first has the highest MMR of your team, therefore you should let
Well,
them
the point
have
is,
that. But it's just some way in all this
yes,
randomness to try to
to
organize
create order.
stuff.
Like this
Yeah,
isn't a hey, fuck you, you're not going to get your role. This is a, we're trying to contain what is a mess already. Can you not make shit worse by
yeah.
trying to compete with a guy that's, you know, predetermined
And
above you? This is just how it is. Like, get with it or
yeah,
get the fuck out.
but definitely like team playing for the team is still more important
Yeah.
than the pick order. So I mean, in a situation where
Well,
uh,
I'm assuming that we're not getting into conflicting issues, and
yeah,
that
no, this
the
is
innate
like,
issue is just pick
if
first
you
call.
have nothing else to go off of the pick order. But like, say you get into a game, you have one person calls mid, one person calls top, one person calls jungle, and two people call AD carry, or something like that. Don't then like, and then all of a sudden the guy who initially called top picks support, and now you have the last two people that wanted to play AD carry now arguing between AD carry and top, and it can get really complicated. Yeah, I forgot like exactly where I was trying to go with this, but
Just don't be a dick.
don't be a dick. Yeah,
Yeah, don't be a dick.
we'll get Doom back on the show.
Just, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's,
uh,
I feel like it's redundant to say because it usually just goes over people's heads.
but like, I think it is just holdover from pick over call order. I can only do this. Well, if you can only do one role, you don't play a ranked.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
there are some rules and limitations and some structure that comes to playing ranked. And like, if there's any amount of order in League of Legends, it is in ranked. Like, we don't have it in ARAMs, you don't have it in threes, you don't have it in freaking draft 5v5 normals. You don't have that order. But when it comes to ranked, like, that is the one place where there is some structure. And if you like
There's
decide
draft
to be
mode in threes. Let's not let's not throw them under the bus here.
okay, but I mean in general, like, but draft mode in threes is still in a team. It's team draft. It's not regular threes draft. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, that's
anymore.
true.
So it's just random. So like, it's just this idea of working with your teammate and not healing or up-elving the freaking structure because you want to roll and you're just a greedy son of a bitch. Like,
Don't be the guy that.
do you
rocks
cut
the boat.
somebody in line? Do you cut someone in line? No? Then don't cut somebody in line. Like, they got there first. Just
That's a
fuck
good way of
off for a
putting it,
second
yeah.
and let them have the fucking moment. Like, next week when you're at the store, you'll be in front of somebody else and you can gloat in your little passion that you got there before that guy. Just, I don't understand people's like butt hurtness about not getting the lane that they want.
It's how to put this.
It's so frustrating.
There's a
'cause
lot
it
of
is
different
literally
things going into it,
it's
and I
such-
don't necessarily blame the other
it's
people because
this.
like
It's the
people
stem.
have preferences, but it really is learning
You can
to
have a
give up.
preference.
It's
can have a
learning to
preference.
give up some ground to help the team.
It's when people create issue. Like, that's
Yeah.
my whole problem. It's
Yeah.
like when you
And-
when you intentionally create issue.
Who knows?
That's the problem.
Like maybe by next season, this won't even be a problem when you have the ranked team builder
I mean,
and stuff like that. But yeah, for right now, please go pick order over call order.
please forever go if so long as it's a thing. Pick order versus call order. There's no reason not to. It's just game's
Okay.
big enough to have social structures. Just go with it, guys.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna call that here for this week. We'll have Frauds and probably Doom back on by that time, so you won't just have to listen to the two of us go on forever about stuff
And rants.
and rants and random sidebars.
I thought it was fun.
It was. That went a lot better than I expected. Once we got the ball rolling, anyways. So thanks everyone for stopping by. We'll be back again next week. We'll see you guys later. Toodle.